We started on $200. We lived in a little railroad house down on 2nd Street. I lived in the back of it with a couple other guys who were on staff. The only qualification was to work at the Times in 1974 was as you have another source of income. We evolved, started on newsprint, but we evolved on after a few years on as a glossy 4-color magazine. And it was a magazine about the state of Arkansas. It was politics, it was personalities, it was the land, it was land and people. It told stories about Arkansas. Then in 1992, the Arkansas Gazette was going under it, and this voice was going to be extinguished, and the voice that would take its place was the Arkansas Democrat, which had, in 1957, had advocated massive resistance to desegregation. And so when the Gazette shut down, we hired the senior editorial staff of the Arkansas Gazette and proceeded to start publishing weeklies. The mission of the Arkansas Times is we're here to support tolerance. We're here to support equality in marriage. We're here to support people who want to get out and vote as opposed to people who want to keep them from voting. It has never been more important that there be a voice like the Arkansas Times in the state of Arkansas than it is right now.
We're not just a weekly newspaper on paper anymore. We're a 24-hour-a-day, more or less, operation 7 days a week that we built a considerable audience of people who come to us looking for fresh things. And it doesn't just happen. It requires time, it requires thought, it requires people that know the town and the city and the state and politics and everything else we cover. And so we think now for us to continue to do this, we have to have support from the readers to do it.
The publishing landscape is changing. And so if we're going to keep doing the kind of reporting that we become known for, and if this voice, a somewhat progressive voice, is going to continue in a fairly conservative state, we're going to have our readers step up and help us. It can't be just the advertisers. We've got to have the readers.
If survival is built on having a supportive reader base for what we do online, it's really pretty simple. Without us, there might be silence on some issues that I think are very important to the people of Arkansas and which are perhaps even majority points of view. Because if there's anything that's antithetical to the American way of life is the notion that free speech should be punished. And so if we stand for anything, liberal, conservative, whatever, it's for the notion that we're not afraid to speak when we think the time is right.
And if you value that voice, if you want to keep it alive here in Arkansas, and I think it's very, very important that it be kept alive, then we need you now to support the Arkansas Times and become a digital member. In 1957, it was the Arkansas Gazette. In 2013, it's the Arkansas Times. That's the voice. It's hard to keep a voice like that alive in this economic and political environment, but it's very, very important to the future of this state and the future of our children.